What's up, guys? Um, I figured I'd do this talk to talk. I haven't done a talk to talk in forever, guys. And if you guys new to the channel don't know what a talk to talk is, basically where I talk about my life, or I talk about things, scenarios in life. I remember some of the topics were bullying, drugs, suicide. There's been a lot of things, but all those topics that I've talked about in the talk to talk, I've been through. I've been through bullying. I've been through drugs. Like I said, I've been through suicide, but I've, tried to do that, Another topic that I talked about was, like, families leaving and all this other shit. Guys, if you go back, you'll see other topics. Mostly all the topics I talked about is because I've been through those topics. And that's what today's video is going to be about. It's going to be about which one of my friends asked me today, which wanted me to make this video. He goes, what have you done that's bad, that's been bad? It's like, what's the baddest thing you did in your life? And he asked me, he was like, what's the baddest thing you did? And I said, bro, like, there was a point in my time, there was a whole 6 months that I was using drugs. I was stealing. I could have been dead on 2 occasions. And he goes, really? I said, yeah. He goes, tell me about it. So I'm sitting there telling him my story. And he didn't believe me. He's like, no way, bro. Doesn't seem like the person you would be. I said, I was so stressed out that was me, bro. I was so depressed, so stressed out, so over life that was me. I was the guy sitting in the back of the car with my homies, smoking joints, smoking cigarettes, doing pills, doing everything, guys. Not giving 2 shits about life. I tell my mom, hey, I'm staying after school for, counseling, whatever, or staying after for tutoring. Never did, guys. I would walk over to Walmart. If you guys know where I live right next to Walmart. I'd walk over, find anybody that goes to my school who I know did that shit, and I'd hang out with them. And I would try to fit in, and I try to do everything that they were doing. And the things that they did wrong, stealing, or that they got into fights, I would join in. I would do everything that they did. And after a while, it would get so to the point where, I'd do it by myself. I'd buy things from people. I'd fight my own people. I'd act up in school. I was failing, guys. I had all Fs. And I thought at that time in my life, I'll never forget, it was February. It started in February of 2017. And it ended that summer. It went through all the way up to August of 2017. And I remember being in Florida. And I had a bag of weed on me when I went to Florida because I knew a couple guys that lived out there. And they took me to a church. Never forget, they took me to a church. And they were talking to me about, like, hey, do you want to give your life to Jesus? Whoever wants to give their life to Jesus, whoever's been through so much. And, you guys want to forgive and start over. I'm just sitting there with chills coming down my arms. And I stand up, and these guys come and bring me to the front. And they were like, we're going to bless you today, and we're going to start your life over. So after that, we leave, and me and my brother-in-law, we walked over to a pier. He goes, throw it out. I said, throw it out. He goes, your weed. I said, how do you know this? He goes, I know everything. Throw your weed out. And your lighter. Throw everything you got in your pocket. I pull out the weed. It was a bag. It was about like this big. And I chucked it into the lake. Into the ocean. I threw my cigarette in there. And never laid a hand on any of that stuff since when I got back. So before that happened, guys, everything that I came upon that, I had choices in my life. Now, I did say about, when I started this, I said about the suicide. Now, during that period of time when I was using, there was a point, I think it was April or May, one of those 2 days, one of those 2 months. I was sitting at home. My dad calls me, tell me how disappointed he is in me. My mom's upset at me because they know what I was using. And I told them there's no going back. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself what I want to do. I go downstairs. And I forget, I had a shotgun downstairs. I bring it up. And I put one, there was one shell left. I put one shell in it. And I'm sitting there and I was like, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to pull this trigger? Do I really want to do I really want to do this? Do I really want to pull the trigger? Do I want to make everybody upset? I put the gun down for a second and I'm thinking to myself what I want to do. And at this time, I had never been to church. At this time, I never realized that talking to people would make things better, you know? So I called a friend and I said, yo, help me. And I was crying. I was out of it. I said, I don't know how much more I got. And this friend told me, he goes, yo, you got this, bro. Just stay strong and do it, man. Just go to sleep, wake up in the morning, and just be you. I remember waking up that day. I remember going to school. And I don't know if I was tired the last night, but I ended up telling my friends one of my friends I was going to hurt myself. So he ended up telling the guidance counselor. She pulled me down, and she ended up, like, calling my mother and calling the cop. And I was sitting in there, like, all depressed as fuck. And they put me on, like, counseling. So I went to a psychologist for a long time. She didn't help. So during that month, during some of my mom was like, we're leaving, I'm going to take you and we're going to buy you a ticket and you're going to go fly to your sister's house. Knowing that my sister and my brother are very religious. So going there, this is what I told you about when I went to church. Because now, since that day, I haven't missed a day at church. I've been at church every single day. Haven't smoked. Haven't done anything to bring that back up. You know, I've never smoked weed. I haven't smoked a cigarette since. I haven't, thought about suicide. I guess that was really the only time that I ever thought about suicide, because I was always the guy that said self-harm is not good. Those girls who say, oh, I cut myself, shouldn't do that. And, when I tell my story to people, they tend not to believe me. When I was at work, because I work at Walmart now, guys, as you can see, I was sitting at the lunch table, or my break table in the faculty room. My friend was like talking about me, not about me, but he was talking to me, and he asked me, he goes, yo, like all these different questions, and I said, bro, like I overdosed once, and I remember being in the car, sitting there, smoking, and I think one of the batches I had was bad. I passed out, and I was out of it, guys. And I wake up like an hour later. I think it was an hour. I'm not 100% sure, but I know it wasn't like a 20-minute nap. I was out of it, guys. I wake up and my friends were like, yo, I was sweating profusely when I woke up. And, guys, I was out of it. So, it's crazy, guys. The thing that, like, it had me like that. So, I just want to put this message out to you guys, because if you're depressed in any way, if you have things that you're going through in your life, don't use drugs. Don't steal, because I stole over $1,000 from my mom. I stole things from mom, and I did things that I wasn't supposed to do. And what at the end of the day, what happened? I was over it. And at the end of the day, none of it helped. Stealing the money didn't help. Doing those drugs didn't help. You know what helped? Church, God helped. Myself, me saying I want to fix it helped. That mentality that I had at the time didn't help. But, guys, out of all my story that I just told you about my life, don't do drugs, guys. Talk to people. Be happy. And that will make your life better.